What people tend to think when it comes to, trying to figure out who's after them, trying to figure out who the enemy is. A lot of people fail to realize that it's not it's not the people you think. It's usually not the people that you think that are your biggest enemies. It's not, your ex best friend who's plotting on you secretly. It's not your neighbor, It's sometimes not even your family members, Sometimes, and I've seen it. I've seen family members go after, each other. I've seen friends go after each other. I mean, some of you guys may have experienced that same thing. But I would tell you this right now. That's not the biggest enemy that you have. The biggest enemy that you have, and you absolutely have to take care of this before you even think about going out there and thinking you have a chance to change the world, is the enemy of the mind. And I'm going to give you one important reason why the enemy of the mind is the biggest enemy that you have to conquer before you do anything else. Here's the thing. A lot of people, when it comes to shit happening to them, stuff happening to them, it doesn't matter what it is, right? Any type of consequence. A lot of people tend to perceive it as the outside in, right? So if, for instance, if I'm late to work, and I'm stuck in traffic, this long ass traffic line, and I'm pissed off, angry, I can blame the guy in front of me. I can blame the traffic itself. I can blame the slowdown. I can blame any sort of things. But the one thing that I usually would be reluctant to blame is myself, right? Why I could have woken up early, got ahead of it, but I didn't, and this is the consequence, right? But a lot of people in this situation, they tend to think, stuff is happening to them, and not realizing that your mind is so powerful. It literally puts out signals every single day. Every single thought you have, every deep desire that you have, it's putting out a signal. It's putting out a signal, and that signal gets received and it gets returned back to you. So you have to conquer your mind. You got to realize that when you have negative thoughts in mind, those usually tend to manifest itself in real life. You've had horrible things, like just okay, take example, this crisis that's going on right now. There are different thoughts about this, but vast majority of them is negative. And my question to you is why? Why does this have to be a negative thing? Yeah, it's horrible. People are getting sick all over the place. People are dying. People get infected, but why do you have to see it for the negative that it is? And I don't blame a whole lot of people. There's a lot of confusion in the media, and it's just not honest. It's not telling people what it is that they need to know. So there's fear. And when there's fear, there's confusion. When there's confusion, mistakes are made. But another thing, which comes down when we're talking about mindset, controlling where your mind is, this is another huge thing that you have to, understand, that people who think positively about the situation, who think rationally about the situation, who take the time and try to understand, okay, this is happening, and there are various conclusions that it can lead to, but I know where I'm at right now. This is what I got. Based on the information that I have, these are the certain moves I'm going to make. And you will get through this. You will often find the answer to it, because what your mind does is very amazing. It finds the way. When you have situations where, everything just seemed to come together. Maybe you got that call in the morning, right? For that job you've been waiting for all your life. Or you got that letter in the mail accepting you to that school that you're about to go to. Certain things. You just feel like everyone has this phase, almost everyone has this phase where everything is just coming down the line and it just fits, right? And it's because that burning desire that you've had led you to take action. Those actions opened up roads for you. And some of those actions that you took were subconscious. You don't even realize you took those actions. but it's because you had that thought. So you have to understand how powerful your mind is. Each and every one of us have to understand how positive our mind, how powerful our mind is. And when we look at a scenario and a situation that we're in right now, your mindset matters. What you do under quarantine matters. What you do, with the free time that you have right now, for most of you guys out there, matters. What you do from this moment on, every single time, every decision that you make matters. And you have to have the right mindset for it. So there are a lot of different ways people can look at this. You can look at this as a positive, you can look at it as a negative, but if you're truly trying to advance, if you're truly trying to go places, I see a lot of people right now who are stuck. They're feeling stuck. They feel like they can't do anything, right? And this thing's only going to extend. It's only going to extend. April 30th is going to come by, and then it's going to be extended another 2 weeks. But you have to understand, with the given time that we have, there's a lot of things that you can accomplish. You just got to put your mind to work, and it just depends on how you see it. Unemployment, maybe it's time to learn a new skill. There's a lot of different things that's happening right now that a lot of people need to start paying attention to, right? And for one, realistically, when it comes to something like this virus, this whole thing, it comes down to your mindset again about it. I look at it, I look at the stats, I compare it to other things that impacts people. And for instance, you just being fat kills thousands of people every year. So when you really think about it, I see it as this: I can either let this affect me for the negative, listen to the hype that's around me, that let this affect me for the negative, and go out and make terrible decisions, or I can look at this as a positive. Okay, this is a real eye opener. This is a real eye opener of what's to come in the next coming years. Okay, maybe I've been asleep. Maybe it's time for me to wake up and see what's going on. But you have to have that mindset. So how do you build this mental fortitude then? How do you start increasingly building that inner strength of yours? Well, first of all, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It starts with finding out why you even wake up in the morning. You have to figure that out. You have to, if you don't understand your why you wake up, why you get out of bed, why you do this thing called life, you're going to have a hard time navigating your way through this world. You're going to have to. So figure out what your why is. And even in moments like this, act on it. All right. There's a door closing. I'm pretty sure there's another one opening somewhere else. Okay. So, there are a lot of different ways you can handle it. Some people are just going to sit there and wait for something to happen. Go ahead. Keep doing what you're doing. You just skip there waiting. And there's some people who are just, who've given up, who don't think anything's going to happen. And there are other people who are like, fuck that. I don't care. This ain't going to stop me. This shit, all of this. Nah, it's nothing. I'm going to keep going. And that's and it starts with the decisions you make every single day. Strive to do a little more than you were the day before. That's what you have to do. Once you slowly start inching and start training your brain to take on more, you start to truly build that inner strength, because you're going to go through a lot of trials, and that's part of it. This is a trial right now. Going through it is a whole part of it. How you handle it, it's part of it. So, like I said, once you take care of the enemy within, that's when you can start accurately seeing things for the better. You have to take care of the biggest enemy, and that's the enemy of the mind. You have to have your mind in order, because it's the most powerful tool that has ever existed. All the shit that we have right now comes from the power of the mind. We're able to bring imagination to reality. So for a lot of us, I think it's time to start harnessing that and using that to our advantage. Harnessing that, the things that we built, the tech that we have to our advantage. That now is our time. There's a change in the air, man, and we gotta recognize it for what it is and act on it. And it all comes down to how you think